I'm going to start off with a little story which comes from the Decameron. Now, the Decameron was written when Chaucer was only a little boy. He was only about 9 years old. So it's probably something he would have read when he was collecting stories to put his Canterbury Tales together. And the Decameron comes from Italy. Are people familiar with the Decameron? Some people have. Right, basically, what the story in the Decameron is, there's plague, and 10 young people, I think there's 6 females and 4 males, and their various attendants and servants, they decide to get out of the city and away from the plague and go to a nice little house in the country which is walled, so they can stay inside the walls and the plague can stay outside. And to pass the time, they decide to tell one another stories. And there's 10 of them, and each day they're each going to tell a story, and they're there for 10 days, so it results in 100 stories. Now, all the stories, it was interesting there when Wayne said about having his night of love. Because all the stories in the Decameron are loosely under the banner of love. But each day, one of the people, either one of the young males or the females, is elected as the king or queen for the day, and they can give a bit of a sub-theme for the day. Now, on day 7, one of the young men was elected, Doyle. He was elected as king, and he chose as his sub-theme stories where women managed to kind of turn the tables and get their own back on men. Yeah? I'm kind of looking around and I'm thinking that'll probably go down well tonight. You know, maybe I won't get the sexist emails after this. So, in Naples, in Italy, that's many, many, many years ago, Naples in Italy, which is in the southwest of Italy. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Italy or been to Naples, but it's in the southwest. There was a mason by trade. His name was Alfonso. Now, it was kind of the practice at that time. You know, you built up your trade as a single man, and then once you were established, then you went and took a wife. So you might not be taking a wife until maybe you're in your mid-30s or maybe even your early 40s. And then, of course, you know, you want to have sons and heirs, so you need good breeding stock, right? So you need to go and get yourself a nice young wife, you know, with all the necessaries, you know what I mean? So he got himself a young wife. Peronella was her name. She was 18, right? And of course, you know, she was going to go and live with somebody who had good means to support her. So her father was probably very happy to give her to this guy in marriage. And you know, she had a nice house to live in. She wanted for nothing. Well, I say she wanted for nothing. She's 18. I was thinking, he's 40. I'm sure she wanted for a few things, right? And she wasn't short of searching for them outside of the marital bed. So, but you have to be very careful, because if you're caught out of that nonsense then, you know, the penalties were quite severe. But anyway, one day, Alfonso, he had to go off and do a job elsewhere. Now, in his house, he had, you know, a big courtyard where he had big slabs of marble and he could make stuff there and whatnot. But occasionally, he would have to go off and do a job somewhere else. He might be doing a job on a church. Couldn't bring the whole church into his courtyard, so he had to go there and do the little job. And he was going off on one particular day, and of course, his wife was there, Peronella, and she was like, "Bye, see you later, darling, bye, see you, bye, 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 bye," and off he tootled down the road. And she closed the door, and big walled place, you know, big doors, big gates, big barred doors and all that, and then off he went. And a little while later, there was a little knock on the door, and it was her lover. And she came and she opened the door, and she said, "Come on, come in, he's come for the day, walk back for hours." Well, and into the marital bed, and they were getting down to business, right? And, you know, they were approaching that crescendo when there was a banging on the gate. And she could hear her husband's voice outside calling her, right? And she's going, "Oh no, it's my husband, God, he'll find you, he'll kill you, and then I'll be thrown out in disgrace and all that, we've got to hide you. So he quickly got himself dressed and ran outside, and out in the courtyard, over in the corner, there was a big pottery ceramic urn. And she said, get in there, hide in there. It's been there for ages, don't worry about it." So he got inside and he was hiding. And of course she went over, and her husband was outside, and he's thinking, "Oh, what a wonderful wife I have. Right? What a wonderful wife. As soon as I'm gone off, she locks up to make sure nobody can come in and there'll be no mischief around the place. She's looking after the place for me." Right? And of course she comes and she's thinking, "What's he doing back here? Does he suspect something?" You know? So she opens the door, and straight away she goes for him. And she goes, "What are you doing back here? You know what, you should be off working. You know, come on back here. You should be out there making some money. You know, I'm and I'm spinning and weaving and cooking and all that. And what are you supposed to be doing? You're supposed to be out there earning some money, and what do? You're just lazing around. You come back here, you've gotten earned nothing, you know. And he said, oh, whoa, slow down. Ooh. He said, I know that you're a good wife, that you look after the place, you do all that cooking and cleaning and all that, and, you know, and yes, I've got no complaints there. You're the best wife in the world. He said, but I'm not, you know, taking the day off or anything. He said, I've got halfway there, and I realised that today is a feast day. It's the festival of St. Galliani. Right? It's a day off. Not supposed to be working. So that's why I came back. I said, and as for not earning a crust, well, I've actually, even though it's a feast day and I'm not working, I actually have earned us some money. And she said, oh, how's that then? And then she noticed there was a guy stood beside him. He said, well, on the way back, I met this gentleman here, and we got to talking, and I was telling him about that big ceramic urn we have. And he said he needs a ceramic urn. So I've agreed to sell it to him, right, for 5 ducats. Now she's got a thing on her feet. Well, yes, well, right, well, you're right, you say that you're out making it, you know, you've earned so much, you've earned 5 ducats for us, yes, oh yes, you, the man, you know, the brains in the family, yes, right, you're off, me, I'm just a mere woman, I know nothing at all, and while you're off selling this for 5 ducats, well, I've actually sold it to someone who's here now, at the moment, inspecting it for 7 ducats. And husband goes, what? Yes, they came around, right, and he's in there now, inspecting it, right, as we speak. So the husband turns around and goes, oh, I'm sorry, well, as you heard, the wife sold it for 7 ducats, and you've only offered 5, so I'm afraid, you know, it's a better offer. And he goes, oh, well, you know, can't offer any more than that, so thanks very much. So the husband comes in and goes, right, so where is the shop? She says he's in there now, inspecting it. And he goes, right, I'll sort this out. And he starts walking up. Well, the lover who's inside, who's been earwigging all this time and hears all this, he decides to jump out. And he's looking around, right? And then he goes, good woman, where are you? Good woman, come here, you know. And then the husband runs up and goes, right, sir, what can I do? And he goes, who are you? I don't want to speak to you, I want to speak to the good woman who I'm meant to deal with. No, I'm the husband. He goes, oh, I see. He said, well, I've been inside inspecting this. He said, and I don't know what you had in there, but it's left some kind of sediment in the bottom. I've tried to scrape it off with my nail, and I can't get it off. So I'm not going to buy that unless you can clean it off. And Peronella says, oh, no problem, my husband can clean it, not a problem at all. He said, quick, come get your tools. He goes and gets a scraper, right, and he gets his shirt off because he's getting in to start cleaning off all the sediment that's in the bottom of the ceramic tun. And she goes over and she stands over to look in. And she's going, yeah, there's some down there. No, you need to clean that bit down there. And of course, the young lover, who's being disturbed in flagrante delicto, as they say, is looking at Peronella bent over. And he's thinking, aye. So he sneaks up behind her and he lifts up her skirt and he slides himself in. And she goes, no! And the husband goes, what? No, there's a bit down there. You missed a bit down there. Just get that bit there. Oh. And of course, the lover is in behind. And of course, she's going, oh, no, a bit higher. And the lover's going, okay. And the husband is going, what, a bit higher? Yeah, the higher up there. Just bring it higher. And he's going, oh, no, a bit to the left, And then, down here. So the husband is in and he's scraping away, taking all the instructions, and the lover's at the back taking all the instructions. And just as the husband gets the whole of the pot clean, the lover finally comes to the end of his enamours and drops down her skirt and tidies himself up. And then the husband comes out and goes, right, how's that? And he looks at it and goes, right, that's fantastic then. So what was the deal? 7 ducats. And of course, I'll need you to carry it to my house for me. And so he paid over the 7 ducats. And the husband, Alfonso, he took up the big ceramic tun and he carried it off to the lover's home. And meanwhile, Peronella went inside to sort herself out and do her ablutions or whatever you ladies do after such an encounter I've never inquired. And so she managed to get away with it. I'm sure, because she does sound like a very clever and resourceful woman, I'm sure she probably managed to get away with it